60s, at that time, of course, we still had the White Australia policy. I think if you look at that progression of our parliament, of our political structure and system over that time, it has completely changed. And the fact that we are representatives of the community, of the society, should be reflected in our parliament, but we needed an end to some of those kind of draconian policies that we had in the past, like White Australia policy, to actually make that happen.
One of the challenges for Aboriginal society in Australia is that most of us are under Native Welfare Acts or different Flora and Fauna Acts up until the early 70s. So there was a whole set of different conditions for us as opposed to the White Australia policy. But the other thing that I think that was also challenging was the issue of the stolen generation and trying to breed out full blood, as it was termed, Aboriginal people, but equally to take away the language and the cultural practices so that they wouldn't prevail.
The truth is, this is a nation of migrants that has been preceded here by an ancient culture of Indigenous Australians, and that's who we are.
That's correct.
That's the Australian identity.
Over 180 nations of different cultures all living here. It really is an incredible melting pot of difference that we all appreciate and love, because it is what makes Australia so rich.
I mean, I often say to people, you never have a team full of halfbacks. You've always got a variety of skills and talents and experiences that make up the strength of the team. And similar, that is effectively multiculturalism, is ensuring that we are able to draw into public life and in all strains of community life the skills and the backgrounds of people from different, who are from different backgrounds themselves, to build something that's stronger here in Australia. And it's actually setting us apart, in a global sense as well, about how well things are working here.
Underpinned by a common set of values and beliefs of the nation as a whole, and that is that kind of shared value of a fair go, of a compassionate, inclusive society. And the fact that we all share that common value, I think, is what really does bind all the threads of our differences together.
We've talked, all of us, about the opportunities of Australia. I think it's also important to recognise that with opportunities come responsibilities, and in the best sense of the word. Because if you uphold your responsibilities to a community, then the community is stronger and you're a beneficiary of that. So it's a fluid circle. But I think in Australia, because people have committed to the rule of law, because people have tried to promote their culture, but not at the expense of excluding anyone else, I think there's some important valuable lessons there that you've got to uphold your responsibilities.
Well, the Citizenship Act itself, by virtue of its availability to all, there's no inequality. It's the level playing field for everybody.
Yes, and I think a number of us probably feel this as a second-generation migrant. How great this country is that it has allowed us the opportunity to be able to be representatives in the nation's parliament after my parents coming here in the 60s. I often will just pinch myself at what we've been blessed with.
If we're a reflection, if the five of us are a reflection of the future, then I think Australia is in a very good, sound position for the things that will emerge.